Hello, listeners, and welcome to another edition of the Kinda Sorta Maybe Like a Podcast. We don't post regularly, but we try to post as much as we can, and we've been covering lots of comedy lately, fresh off the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, and a bunch of podcasts right at the same time, and now we are back to covering more comedy. I'm in Toronto right now, here to check out SheDot, which is an awesome all-women's comedy festival that started 4 years ago. I've heard about it back in Winnipeg for a number of years. Friends of mine have gone and performed at this festival, and I figured this was the year to come and check it out, and I'm very excited for it. And so this interview that you're about to hear is with one of the co-producers of the festival, Karen O'Keefe. She's a stand-up in her own right. She's done the Halifax Comedy Festival and the Winnipeg Comedy Festival before. She's originally from Yellowknife, got her comedy start in Calgary, now lives here in Toronto. And we talked mostly about SheDot and a little bit about her acting aspirations and that sort of thing. But if you're listening to this when it gets posted, then go check out some shows. There's so many shows. Most of them are happening at the Comedy Bar, but there's also shows at Bad Dog Theater, and Second City is involved with a show, and there's industry panels, and Karen mentions all sorts of stuff about that. But enjoy this interview and check out SheDot.
Hey, this is Maria Bamford. You are listening to a Showbiz Monkeys exclusive.
Around this town, I'm alright. Around this town, I'm alright. I mean, no consequence when you playing with the fire.
So this is the fourth year of SheDot Festival. Have you been involved as a co-producer from the very beginning?
I have, yeah. We started out. We started out with 4 producers. There's Martha O'Neill is our executive producer, and then there was 3 of us just helping along. And this year we've just changed a few things. 2 of the producers have gone on to do other things, and now we're just a 2-person operation. So it's just Martha and I. And we've changed our format a bit this year. We're now having a lot of. We've basically released a lot of control. We have a lot of co-productions, a lot of associate shows who are running their own show under sort of the banner of SheDot, under the blessing of SheDot. So it's really cool. We've spread around the city a lot more by doing that. It used to just be a one-venue festival 3 years ago. Yeah, it was just a comedy bar. But now we got like Second City jumped on board. We got stuff out in the East End at Social Capital Theater. Kind of like a fringe show, I guess. It's like where they're using the SheDot name, but they're still an independent production, I guess. And then, of course, we still have our core show. Our core shows is anything that starts with a she. Like we've got She Fab, She Unleashed, She Sassy. We have any of those are our main jury-selected comedians, and then everything else is. And then we've got like some associate sketches, associate improv shows.
Given that SheDot is about to start, we're recording this on Thursday, and hopefully people are listening to it on Friday when it gets posted. How do you feel about things right now?
It's always very exciting, man. The first morning of SheDot, it's like Christmas morning. We wake up and like, this is what we've been preparing for months. Everything's in place. In some cases, it's too late to change anything now. So here we go. People are starting to arrive. I'm just very excited. I'm sure that, there's still a few little last minute, I'm sure, admin things to do. I have to like fasten buckles to a bunch of lanyards right after this, email a few people. But the excitement is great. Everybody who's coming, we are a lot of people's first festival.
Right.
We are a lot of people's first visit to Toronto. I'm just feeling very excited. I'm just so great when it starts to roll underway. Our first show is, I think, at 7:30 tonight. So once that gets underway, there's no stopping it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned before we started recording that in the first year it was pretty much a local festival with just Toronto comics for the most part.
Yeah, nobody knew who we were or what's going on.
At this point, what's the breakdown like for those listening? Like, how many people are locals and you're showing up Toronto people, and then how many people are coming in from out of town?
Oh gosh, the Toronto people are outnumbered.
Okay,
it's really cool. Out of our main core group, like there's all the local sketch and improv. There's accounting for them. There's so many of them. But out of our Toronto comics, we counted something like I can't remember how many are all. We have something about 40. We have almost 50 performers, and I think like 15 of them are locals.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a bunch, and then there's like surrounding areas. We have like some GTA comics, Ottawa, some from out west like Alberta and Vancouver, and a lot of Americans. Something like About half of them could be Americans.
Okay.
A lot of them are from Chicago, which was interesting too.
Yeah.
We had something like 7 Chicago comics. Like that's enough to do our own show.
Yeah.
We thought they could have their own show. It could be the Chicago show.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah, I don't know. And then we had a laugh and then we stopped. And we're like, I don't know. Just like as it is, we already. I mean, the first year we had this. We had an out of town. Like our shows, we try and organize them a little bit by theme.
Yeah.
Like we definitely have a dirty show, a clean show, a lesbian show, a mom show. And then there's a few we're kind of stretching it, like she sassy, like sure, whatever. Yeah, so why not? But just loosely themed. But we had an out of towner show that first year. Like, ooh, look at all these people who came to Toronto for this. It was called SheDot.
Yeah.
And now almost everyone's an out of towner. In the second year, we had enough Americans to make our own American show. There's She-American, and then there's like so many from Chicago now. But actually, what's hilarious about the Chicago ones, most of their submission tapes were all from the same night, the same venue. I'd see like the same background and everything. Everyone had killer sets. Like everyone must have just had I don't know if they all just got together backstage or like, let's take this show on the road.
Yeah, they were able to find a videographer for one
night.
night.
Yeah, like we all have this is a great tape. Let's all submit it.
So with SheDot, obviously it's a play on T-Dot, but it's an all women comedy festival. Why did you think Toronto needed something like that?
Martha O'Neill had been, she's been doing comedy probably about as long as I have. We've both been at it over 10 years. And she has been to a lot of these American festivals, and she saw how a lot of them have been done. She saw a lot of things that could have been done better. And I know she was just like, I'm tired. I just want to make more opportunities. Like I want more, like I would like more stage time. I'd like to be known. I'd like to, just I guess creating opportunities. That's why everybody starts up anything, I guess. And then she came to me and asked me in like 2013, like, hey, I want to do an all women's comedy festival. Like, I guess, sure. And like, what do I have to do for it? But it ended up being a lot bigger than I thought. I'd be there like, oh, sure, a couple nights at Comedy Bar or something. She had a good way of putting it. Like often we are the only woman on the show, for better or worse. Like you get on a show because you're a woman and they need it. Like you're there because they need to tick off a box.
Yeah.
Or there's like, oh, we already have a woman on the show. We can't have 2 because then the universe implodes. You can't have 2 of them. And we're always the only one. And so she's like, actually having an all women's comedy festival like that just takes gender out of it. Then suddenly we're all comics.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool thing because I didn't know. I'm like, do I want to make it? Originally, I was like, do I want to make it a big thing? Like, I don't know, like, hi, I'm a woman. Like, can I just be a comedian?
Yeah.
And it is interesting how that kind of how it becomes. Like, I think these are all comics coming this weekend. Like, yeah, they happen to be women too. But I think it's like when you're, say, if you're any kind of Canadian who's living abroad, suddenly you become just like super Canadian, and everybody's like, everyone's asking you questions about Canada, and you're suddenly the spokesperson for Canada. Like, I don't know what the gross national product is. Why are you asking me this kind of thing? That's like being a woman in comedy. You're the one woman, and everyone asks you. They always ask you like, oh, is it harder to be able like? Yeah. They're asking you all the questions, and you have to represent all women when you say that. But then when that traveling Canadian comes home, like, hey, you're just a person. You're not like everyone's Canadian. Like the Canadian is back in Canada, surrounded by Canadians, then it's not a thing anymore. Like, you're like, hi, we're all just people. We don't have to talk Canada all the time. So I think that's my analogy about being the woman in comedy. Like we're immersed in it. Like we're all just we're all just performers, and it's. Or it's also like walking, like being a left-handed person, and say you walk into the that left-handed store, like everything finally works for me here. Oh my God, I don't have to look for a special version of something. Like I'm sure we have detractors who are like, why don't we have a man's comedy festival? And the answer is always this: go start one, or just go to attend a festival. Yeah, that's right. I don't get it. And somebody, we did an interview recently. One of the men interviewing us is like, has anyone patented the name SheDot?
God.
Oh my God. So I think that trademark is still up for grabs.
Okay, if anyone wants to
a SheDot festival,
you
have that's our blessing. But yeah, sure, why not?
For anyone who's listening to this and is in Toronto, and there's still SheDot happening, what do you think they should really keep an eye out for and come and check out, say on Friday night, Saturday night?
Okay, yeah, right, because Thursday's too late.
Too late, all of you. You should have known already.
Yeah. Oh shoot, and I feel like, oh God, I should know this. I've had this has been in my brain for months.
But so much has been in your brain for months.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We're bringing back the She Mom show. We haven't had that since first year. We haven't had, and now we have now we have quite a full lineup for that. We just in some years we just didn't have enough mom comics who got in. I mean, they applied. Like we weren't just specifically looking for mom comics. We take like the top scores of all the submitters. We have a jury that looks at the process, and this year it's some quality stuff. Moms who I don't know how they have time to do this. I'm not a mom myself. How they somehow manage to do like comedy at night, raising their families the rest of the week, balancing day jobs and auditions and all open mics, and it should be great. Our dirty show, the She Unleashed, that always does pretty well. So that's, you can do whatever. We are none of this at all is being broadcast, so we have very few content restrictions.
Right, exactly.
We do, except for the one, we do have the She PG show. That's our clean show. But in case any, I don't know, children are coming by for some reason, I don't know. We just thought it'd be nice to offer an alternative. If you're going to the show with your grandparents and you want to hear some clean comedy, it's She PG.
I find it interesting. I'll do a quick plug for my friend Melanie Dolling, who's about to start a podcast on our website. So I'll get that plug in. But she's in the festival, and she's doing both the She PG and the She Unleashed.
That's happened a few times in the comics. We have to have somebody be very dirty and very clean.
And certain comics are able to easily do both. So
Good for them. Yeah,
it's fun.
That's awesome. We also have kind of two dirty shows. So there's some comics who specifically just don't do that. Like Unleashed is the big one, and then we also have She Brash, which is another similar. Yeah, same thing. There's some people who only fit into those categories.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good mix of everyone.
Yeah, you need that. It fills the need for everyone. Everyone loves that kind of comedy.
Where do you see this festival headed now? I know you're still in the heart of this year, but I'm sure in your meetings and stuff throughout the year, you're talking about like what your goals are for this festival. Like, do you want to continue to see it grow? And
we do. And it's funny, as our meetings, it's just me and Martha phoning each other at like 11 o'clock at night. There's a few things, even though we're like, we don't have time for this right now, but for next year, let's write this down. Let's do this differently next year, or let's do that. Next year is our 5th year, so we thought that would be kind of a good something to celebrate. Like, there's nothing much. We don't have much of an angle going into our 4th year as we're sending out like press releases and stuff. Yeah, 5th year, something to congratulate ourselves on. I'd love to get bigger. Being a little startup production, we would love to have money, I guess. We'd love to have sponsors. People just say, why don't you just get an airline to sponsor you? Like, yeah, why don't we just do that? I don't know how one goes about it. We are 2 comedians running this thing off our computers.
Yeah, but that is, how a lot of these cool festivals start. Like just comedians saying, hey, we want to start this thing. Like that's how Bridgetown started in Portland.
Oh, yeah?
And,
okay.
All these other really cool smaller festivals that have now grown over the years into bigger events. It's just comics trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I know Martha would like to take it a bit on the road. She's like, and this is her plan, so I don't know if I'd be telling the story correctly, but something involves, I don't know, if we're on a bus or something like that, just going around and bringing SheDot, like checking out comics from around the country. Like they send us submission videos, but we thought I don't know. Again, I am not quite sure what the plan is. Yeah, that's a dream that we'd leave, that SheDot would leave TDot.
Right.
I mean, we'd also still be here. We're not moving.
Right. Just on the road for a little bit. And
that's right. It's like it works for JFL. They get out and about.
Yeah. But I think that's good to have those kinds of aspirations for the festival, because you're not just resting on where you are now, as enjoyable as it is, but you're like, no, I want to keep this growing and give more opportunities to comics. I mean, that's really what it does as you grow bigger. It's more.
I don't know if we'd ever become like a company, like with employees, or again, some of these huger festivals, like Just for Laughs. They are a year-round event. They have things. They have staff. They have salaries. They do stuff that we don't know how to do, but sure, like it'd be cool. We could kind of do that if this could be. I don't know. Well, I wouldn't say full time. Nobody wants. We don't want to do this year round, but we actually, we do a few standalone shows throughout the year. We have called She Did, which is a show by SheDot alumni, and it's usually recording. So Sirius XM comes in and they record the headline. The headliner records like a 40-minute set, and there's a couple of openers. And it's one of our ways of saying thank you for the comics who've done our festival.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, they're presenting, some of the best of SheDots.
Cool. Well, I want to talk also just a little bit about your own comedy.
Okay.
To get that out there.
Yeah, I forgot about my own comedy.
Yeah, I know. You're so busy managing
doing other people's. Oh my God, the fact that I am doing a set during this festival, it's almost like a distraction. Like, oh yeah, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm just like busy, running. Like I'll be busy behind a table somewhere, and then it's like, oh crap, I got to go do comedy, and then step away and do that, and then come back to like producing.
Do a set on like numbers and spreadsheets and all the things you've been dealing with over the last travel plans,
returning emails, and,
that'll be a fun set. But you started doing comedy in Calgary.
I started 11 years ago.
Did you start with just stand up, or did you do other like improv sketch? That kind of thing?
Some people come in through other ways. I was only ever stand up.
Okay,
I do not have any improvisational skills, or nor do I work well with people. So I've never been in a sketch group.
Got it.
Or improv. I found stand up was an awesome way for kind of a loner like me. It's like, all right, cool. It's just me talking on stage. I like this idea. So Yeah, it happened. And I used to be a normal person. I had a day job. I worked at an office in downtown Calgary, and then I was just doing comedy as a hobby, evenings and weekends.
Yeah.
And then after about 4 years of both of that and like just no sleep or anything, used up all my vacation days to go do comedy somewhere. Yeah, I made the leap about 2009. It's been a while since I'm like, all right, now I'm a comedian and a bunch of other things. Any other sort of random day job to keep it going.
And is that when you moved to Toronto?
Yeah, I moved to Toronto in 2011.
Okay.
Just thought, like, why am I in Calgary? I mean, I'm not from there originally. I just happened to be living there. And it's like, well, if I don't have the awesome job I used to have, and I was just working at Starbucks and Yuck Yucks, I'm like, they have both of those in Toronto, actually. Why am I doing this here? So,
and other places.
yeah, that's right. Like, I could go other places. So, and I did want to kind of try to get into acting and stuff. Like, I'd love to be in commercials. Like, that looks so easy and fun. All those comedians, you just make a funny face and then you're in a Tim Hortons commercial or something. But it's like, which was my first commercial. But yeah, so I love, I just do a bunch of random other things. Yeah, I'd like to get into TV writing, comedy. Comedy's part of the whole thing now.
Yeah, and besides commercials, you have done, you did This Hour's 22
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, I did. I wrote for them, which was awesome. Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't have said no if they wanted me to get on camera, though. That would have been awesome. Like, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I was out there a couple times for these, they bring people out for little trials. Like, you're there for like 2 or 3 weeks to kind of work on an episode. And
out in Halifax.
Some people, it's out. Not a lot of people know that it's out. It's always been in Halifax. 22 minutes. So they're like, "Why are you talking like you're not in Toronto right now?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm looking at the ocean." That was an amazing experience. It's very intense. And it's one thing that it's probably the most excited that people get about my resume. They're like, "Oh, that's a real thing. Like,
we've heard of that."
Yeah, exactly. You have our approval now." Like, and I got my parents' approval when I first did the Halifax Festival. Anyways, that was a really cool, intense writing experience, and I'd love to do, I guess, more TV writing things. They have those in Toronto too, I think.
Yeah, they do. There are a few of those, a few TV shows right here.
Yeah, and then I've been, I haven't really been much of an actor. I work as an extra a lot, and that's probably my favorite job. Because I love photobombing. That's like, I just love showing up in people's photos uninvited, and
it's even better if it's a television series.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
just creeping around, and then I have and then I screenshot it like, that was me. I don't know. I really get a kick out of that. I mean, I still audition for speaking roles and everything, but the backgrounds, it's a nice little day job to have.
Has there been anyone in previous SheDots that you've now seen, because this is the 4th year now, that you've seen really take the comedy world by storm, and you're like, I remember when they were just starting out, and now they're kicking ass?
Yeah, one that comes to mind is Emma Arnold out of Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
Is that the right state?
Boise is in Idaho.
It's Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember. Yeah. Her. She was she came in second year, and she just seems like I still follow her on Twitter and stuff. I don't know. Like, she's possibly been on TV, but yeah, she was one of those who were like, "Hey, cool. I like this girl stand up." And then she offered to do a workshop. She's also a storyteller. So she did a workshop at the festival that just, I think it was pretty much at capacity. Like, after her show, some of the producers were like, "I just saw Emma Arnold set. Like, holy crap, she's really funny." I mean, like, we assomed she was because we'd seen her tape at some point. But they're like, no, I think people probably signed up for her workshop after seeing her perform. And they're like, we want to do that. And then now she just seems to be traveling nonstop around the States. I don't know if she's, we invited her up again to open for our headline gala, but she was busy.
Yeah.
One actually interesting thing, there's some comics who I met in our first year as volunteers. So often our volunteers are like aspiring comics or new comics who are like, "Hey, cool, I just want to help out. I just want to get involved. I want to meet people."
Yeah.
And then the next year they submit, and I was blown away by a couple of them, I guess, where I'd known them as a person before, like, "Hey, this is a nice chick," and then I see their tape, like, "Oh my God, they're funny! Wow, okay, good, thank God, because I like them." Courtney Gilmore was one of those. Catherine Nyker also started off as a volunteer, and now they're back hosting the shows. You know, they kind of, and hosting is probably about as top as we get with SheDot. We don't really have headliners.
So yeah, that must be cool just to see that. Again, the development.
It's right. It's cool that they sort of came in behind the scenes just because I like comedy. And they were all very new, like a year or two into it when I first met them.
Yeah, and then finally, I guess the cool thing, some festivals do this, but certainly not all of them, and certainly not smaller festivals usually. So it's really cool that you guys are doing these workshops and industry panels and stuff during the daytime on the weekends.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, with some little added bonus features for we are of course comedy shows, but we also have. The panels are open to the public, open to anything. And all of our shows are open to everyone, really. It's not definitely men are invited. It's mostly women that come out. But anyway, we have Dudes are allowed, and we have 4 workshops. One is a TV writing workshop with Gary Pearson, a man, and which that's allowed. And we have a storytelling workshop with Aaron Rodgers, a motivational workshop with Calgary darling Lori Gibbs. She's someone you have to meet. And then there's the other. Oh my God, Robin Duke of CTV and. Of SCTV and Man Seeking Woman and so many things. Canadian comedy legend Robin Duke is doing an improv workshop on Saturday. And that one, she did it last year. That one sold out, so we have high hopes for this one. Then we also have a couple of industry panels. So just town hall meetings where people can come along. They are free. People keep asking how much are the panels. Like, they're free. Just show up. Friday, we have the ladies of Baroness Von Sketch. We have cast and writers. Not all of the Baronesses could make it, but... all the writers are totally involved. Like, they're also actors on the show. That is 5:30 Friday at Comedy Bar, so you'll hear this in time. And 2 of the women in Baroness have been involved in SheDot in the past. The first year we had Carolyn Taylor, and she did a gala. We had one in the first year. And then we had Jen Whalen. She did a TV writing workshop in the first year. And remember, that was pretty packed too. All of the women have a lot of, obviously TV writing experience. A lot of them worked on 22 Minutes also, and they have Second City backgrounds. And then our other panel is we always have just kind of an industry panel. So we have we've called it various things in the past. Gatekeepers, who works at this network that you need to talk to, and it's the color. We've also called them movers and shakers. It's the hey, how did you get that job kind of deal. It's either how do I get that job and how did you get that job. Anyway, it's called the industry panel on Saturday, 3:30 at the Social Capital. So that's kind of where we've asked people who we have people from SiriusXM, people from CBC. We have again a Western force of nature. Lori Gibbs is also so she's a personality out there, and so we thought it'd be awesome if she could come out here and kind of tell us about her career. Gary Rideout, he's in everything. He just say Comedy Bar. That's Gary Rideout, but he's also other things. He's a comedian, actor, writer, producer. He's everything. And again, the panels have men and women on them. Men and women can attend. It's also under we celebrate mostly female comics, but we don't have anything against dudes.
ShowbizMonkeys.com